The Xarn outpost burned like a dying sun. Ayla Rourke didn't blink as she stepped over a smoldering corpse, boots crunching on charred bone. Her rifle was still hot, muzzle blackened, the acrid scent of alien blood sharp beneath her visor. In the distance, what remained of the facility flickered with dying energy, pale violet light shivering in the smoke. "Clear," came Kai's voice over the comm. "Confirm it." Ayla's tone was flat. Kai's silhouette moved ahead, scanning with his scope. "All hostiles neutralized. 37 Xarn. No survivors." Ayla said nothing. The number didn't matter. Not anymore. She touched the device on her wrist. A burst of static confirmed data uplink, coordinates retrieved. The next target, Vega IV, blinked on her HUD. 10 hours later, the debriefing room at Terra Prime was silent but for the hum of ventilation. Ayla stood at attention, facing the high screen. Behind her, Omega Squad remained still, silent in their matte black armor. Hollow displays spun slowly in the air, charts, files, orbital scans. Commander Rice's voice cracked like frost. "We've located a secondary facility. Vega IV. Supposedly inactive, according to Xarn chatter. We believe otherwise." He tapped a section of the display. A magnified image zoomed in, a sprawling structure buried beneath dense foliage. Geothermal signatures glowed underneath the surface. "This isn't a breeding ground," Rice continued. "It's a synthesis lab." Ayla narrowed her eyes. "For weapons? For something worse?" "We intercepted a partial transmission. Hybrid genome experiments. Splicing Xarn DNA with Terran samples." Lyra, the squad's field medic, spoke for the first time. "Human DNA?" "From Orion survivors," Rice confirmed. The room chilled. Kai shifted slightly, his knuckles whitening. Ayla clenched her jaw. "Permission to speak," she said. "Granted. We were told no Orion survivors remained." "They didn't," Rice replied, without flinching. "The samples were taken from children. Post-mortem." A flicker of something, grief, maybe, passed over Lyra's face, but it was gone before Ayla could name it. "Ghost Protocol, Omega," Rice said, pacing now. "This mission is Red Tier. You are to infiltrate Vega IV, verify operations, and execute full neutralization. No prisoners. No transmissions. Burn it." "And if civilians are present?" Kai asked quietly. Rice didn't answer. He didn't have to. In the drop ship, hours later, the atmosphere was tense. The hull trembled as they entered Vega's upper ionosphere. Lightning crawled along the windows in veins of white-blue light. The crew sat strapped in, weapons magnetized to their sides. The silence was familiar, comfortable, almost. Until Kai spoke. "We're not even going to ask what's down there?" Ayla kept her gaze locked forward. "Mission parameters are clear." "They're always clear," he replied, bitter. "And they always involve turning colonies into craters." She turned to face him. "You saw what they did on Orion." "I know what they did. But you're not the only one who lost someone, Ayla." The words landed heavy. Lyra interrupted before Ayla could respond. "Approaching LZ. Touchdown in 2." They stood. Helmets clicked into place. Ayla's suit sealed with a hiss. "Listen up," she said, voice calm but sharp. "This is not a rescue op. This is a reconnaissance. We're going in hard and fast. Confirm presence of synthetic programs. Eliminate all threats. We don't second-guess the mission. We complete it." "Like ghosts," muttered Vargas, the squad's sniper. Ayla nodded once. "Exactly." Vega IV's surface was quieter than expected. The landing zone, a flattened cliff overlooking dense jungle, was empty. No drones. No scouts. Just static in their comms and a low hum beneath their boots, barely perceptible, like a power grid beneath stone. The facility was buried half a kilometer down. They moved through the trees swiftly, avoiding obvious paths. Ayla's HUD scanned for electromagnetic pulses. Nothing. No traps. No defenses. Which made it worse. Where are they? Vargas whispered. Xarn don't do subtle. They do when they're hiding something, Ayla replied. The entrance revealed itself like a scar in the earth, a dark seam between stone slabs. No guards. Just a biometric scanner and a recessed keypad, oddly Terran in design. Ayla stared at it, frowning. Lyra? The medic stepped forward, unpacking her hacking tool. Let's see if this thing speaks our language. The screen flickered, then displayed text in standard Terran script. Welcome back, Dr. Brennan. Ayla stiffened. Brennan was her brother's name. What the hell is this? Kai whispered. The door opened with a low chime. Inside, the facility was clean. Sterile. Not alien. White lights glowed along the ceiling. Human medical beds. Data terminals. Even artwork, sketch drawings from Orion's elementary school children, copied and framed. Ayla moved silently through the hallway, each step a tightening coil in her chest. They reached a central chamber. Inside were 20 Xarn. Not warriors. Children. Small, pale-skinned hybrids with human eyes and translucent scales. They looked up, blinking. A tall figure stood among them, a Xarn woman in a lab coat, hands raised in surrender. No, she said softly. You don't understand. Vargas raised his rifle. Stand down, Ayla snapped. The scientist stepped forward. This isn't what you think. We're not breeding soldiers. She faltered, searching for the right word. We're trying to atone. Ayla's finger hovered over her trigger. Her voice was low. Where did you get his name? Dr. Brennan? The Xarn woman's eyes flickered. He left it behind. In the wreckage. His journals. His ethics. We built this to honor him. Kai's voice crackled in her calm. This doesn't look like a military installation, Ayla. She didn't respond. Her eyes locked on a small hybrid girl sketching on the floor, drawing a sunrise. Earth's skyline. The mission was clear. But now nothing felt certain. Behind her, Lyra whispered, orders. Ayla didn't speak. The air inside the chamber tasted too clean. Ayla Rourke stood still, her rifle at low ready, pulse hammering behind her ribs. The facility didn't feel like a war zone, it felt like a hospital. Monitors hummed gently. Medical charts floated in holograms. The hybrid children, half Xarn and half human, watched the soldiers with quiet curiosity, not fear. The scientist stepped closer, cautiously. She moved with a grace unusual for a Xarn, less predator, more physician. Her voice carried calm but urgency. These children are not weapons. They were born to end the war. Ayla's voice was like stone. Where's Mawketh? He abandoned this project years ago, the scientist replied. Said it was treason. I kept it hidden. I've been raising them here since then. Teaching them. Teaching them what? Kai asked, still clutching his rifle but lowering it an inch. Language. Empathy. Choice. Ayla ignored her. Lyra, get eyes on every room. Vargas, scan for weapons, encrypted networks, hard drives. Full sweep. The team moved quickly. Ayla stayed rooted, eyes locked on the scientist. I want your name. My Terran designation is Mara. I once held the rank of prime geneticist. Now I'm simply a caretaker. Mara knelt beside one of the children, a boy with violet eyes and dark curls. He smiled up at her and held out a drawing. Ayla caught a glimpse of it, a child standing between two planets, holding hands with a Xarn and a human. We found the journals of Dr. Brennan in the Orion wreckage, Mara said. He wrote of coexistence. Of peace through understanding, not fear. We tried to build that here. Ayla stared at the drawing in Mara's hand. Her brother had said the same thing once, just before the colony burned. This changes nothing, Ayla said coldly. This mission was designated Red Tier for a reason. We were sent to destroy everything here. Mara rose slowly. Then Earth still believes annihilation brings peace. Ayla didn't answer. She tapped her comm. Lyra, status? 34 rooms scanned. No weapons, no labs, no signs of augmentation. It's not a military site. A beat of silence. Except for one room, Vargas broke in. North wing. Sealed. Magnetic lock. Biometric access required. Ayla turned to Mara. What's in the north wing? Mara hesitated. The reactor. And my communication terminal. You've been transmitting. Only emergency signals. To warn others if we were discovered. Ayla gestured. Take us there. Now. The walk to the north wing was silent. The children remained behind, watched over by two of Mara's assistants, one Xarn, one human, both looking terrified but non-threatening. The sealed door loomed ahead, silver and featureless. Mara pressed her hand to the panel. It scanned her veins, then hissed open. The room beyond was compact, walls lined with consoles, a sleek reactor core humming softly in the center. No weapons. No drones. Just one large display screen blinking with unread transmissions. Ayla moved forward, scanning the terminal. The last outgoing message wasn't encrypted. She read it aloud. They found us. But the children still live. Please, don't let them become monsters. Kai stepped beside her. You still think this place deserves to burn? Before she could respond, the console flared to life. A figure appeared, grainy, distorted. Alien features but unmistakable in stature and voice. Grand Strategist Mokath Voss. He was older, thinner. A permanent sneer etched into his face. Mara backed away. No, she whispered. I disabled this feed. Mokath's voice echoed from the speakers, pre-recorded. To the humans who find this, congratulations. You have uncovered my greatest mistake. This colony was an experiment in weakness. Empathy. Compromise. I abandoned it to rot. But if you are hearing this, it means you didn't kill them on sight. That makes you weak too. So here's your reward. The room began to shake. Alarms shrieked. Ayla spun around. The reactor was overheating. System override, Lyra barked, fingers flying across the interface. He built in a failsafe. Remote detonation trigger if the feed was accessed. Shut it down, Ayla ordered. I'm trying, but the code is recursive. It's not Xarn or Terran. It's hybrid. Mara stepped forward, horrified. He used the children's neural maps to encrypt it. Only one of them can stop it. Which one? Mara hesitated. All of them. Together. Ayla stared at her. You want to bring a roomful of children into a reactor core while it's melting down? It's the only way. Minutes later, Ayla stood in the control ring above the core chamber. Below, the children were connected to neural relay nodes, sitting calmly in a circle, eyes closed. Their minds linked through Mara's interface. The room shimmered with biosynaptic light. 2 minutes until core rupture, Lyra warned. Kai paced beside Ayla, voice low. You realize we just turned kids into a firewall. Ayla clenched her fists. This wasn't supposed to happen. No, Kai said, looking down at them. But it is happening. The question is, do we protect them, or finish what Earth started? Before she could respond, a hiss broke through the comm Earth command. Omega Lead, this is Terra Prime. Your silence triggered contingency protocol. Orbital strike locked on target. Detonation in 10 minutes. Ayla's blood froze. She tapped the comm negative. Abort strike. There are children here. Target is Red Tier. Non-negotiable. You have 9 minutes. She turned away from the team. Her hands shook. For the first time in years, doubt crept under her skin. Captain? Vargas asked. Ayla stared at the console. On it, the reactor temperature dropped. Slowly. Stabilizing. The children were doing it. One of them, a girl with pale blue scales and human freckles, opened her eyes and looked up. We don't want to die. Ayla knelt slowly, helmet removed. What's your name? She asked. Ayla. How old are you? 7. Ayla's voice cracked. Do you understand what you're doing? Ayla nodded. Stopping the bad machine. So no one else gets hurt. Ayla rose, walked back to the interface, and keyed open a secure line. This is Captain Ayla Rourke of Ghost Protocol, Omega. Earth Command, cancel the strike. I repeat, cancel the strike. That is not your call to make. She looked down at the children. It is now. The strike countdown ticked in Ayla's ear like a death drum. 7 minutes. The air inside the reactor chamber crackled with energy as the hybrid children kept their neural link alive. Pale lights pulsed across the floor, connecting their bodies in synchronized stillness. Sweat clung to Lyra's brow as she monitored their vitals. They're doing it. Stabilizing core temperature. But barely. Kai moved to Ayla's side. Command's not going to wait. You heard them. I heard, Ayla said. Her voice didn't waver, but her jaw clenched hard enough to ache. 6 minutes. Vargas emerged from the corridor, rifle slung, eyes wild. Incoming. Xarn transport ships descending fast, 3 clicks out. Military signatures. Not friendly. Mara's face drained of color. Makatha's forces. He never intended for this project to survive. He sent you here as executioners, and now he's finishing the job himself. Ayla keyed the comm. Vargas, Lyra, prepare fallback positions. We hold this compound. Kai stepped in front of her. You really think Command will let any of this stand? Even if we survive the assault, they'll glass the place anyway. You know it. They won't if I go public. They'll court-martial you. Discredit you. You'll never see the inside of a cockpit again. Ayla looked down at Ayla, who was still linked into the neural relay, her tiny brow furrowed in concentration. I can live with that. 5 minutes. An explosion rocked the outer corridor. Stone and steel buckled. Xarn soldiers poured in, no armor, just genetically modified skin and brutal efficiency. Ghost Protocol responded like the blade it was trained to be. Precision shots. No wasted movement. But there were too many. Vargas took a plasma bolt to the chest. He screamed once before falling. Lyra pulled him behind cover, already yelling for med gel, though they both knew it was too late. Kai returned fire, then ducked behind a support pillar. This is suicide. No, Ayla said, voice sharp. It's clarity. She turned to Mara. Can the children survive outside the compound? Mara hesitated. If they're disconnected gently. But they'll be weak. Vulnerable. And can we broadcast from here? Yes. Short range. But if you reroute the reactor feed, you could hijack Earth's long-range military channel. Risky. Could fry the whole system. Ayla gave a thin, bitter smile. Perfect. 4 minutes. The children were weakening. One boy collapsed, neural strain too great. Mara disconnected him carefully, whispering soft words in Xarn. Ayla moved to Ayla. You're doing great, she said, kneeling beside her. Ayla opened her eyes, glassy. Is it working? Yes. But I need you to do one more thing for me. The child nodded. I want you to hold on while I tell the truth. The control center glowed red as Ayla rerouted the reactor's auxiliary channels. Sparks flew from the console, but the signal pushed through. Lyra patched in, fingers flying. Link active. You're live on all channels. Ayla stepped into the frame of the comm camera. This wasn't a message to command. It was to Earth. To the colonies. To every station that had ever lost someone to the war. Her voice was steady. This is Captain Ayla Rourke. Omega Lead. Earth Command deployed my team to Vega IV under Red Tier Protocol. We were ordered to eliminate what they told us was a Xarn weapons facility. She paused. A breath. They lied. Images flashed, live feed from the reactor chamber, of children not fighting but stabilizing the system. Medical files. Drawings. A room built not for war, but healing. We found something else. Something better than vengeance. But it doesn't fit the narrative Earth wants. So they've authorized an orbital strike on our location. I'm asking, no, I'm begging, for someone to listen. 3 minutes. The enemy breached the north corridor. Screams echoed. Lyra pulled her sidearm and joined Kai at the barricade. You're really doing this? Kai called back, breath ragged. Ayla nodded. I have to. Mara shouted from the lower floor, the children can't hold much longer. Ayla grabbed her rifle and ran toward the fight. The final clash was chaos. Xarn soldiers stormed the reactor wing with pulse blades and kinetic hammers. Ayla met them head-on, dropping 2 with clean bursts before Kai shoved her behind cover. Can't lose you now, he grunted, bleeding from a slash to his side. We're not dying here, she growled. The reactor room shook again, the ceiling cracking. One of the children screamed as a fragment fell. Lyra dove, shielding them with her body. The feedback loop in the neural relay began to collapse. Sparks danced along the floor. The lights dimmed. Elia cried out, her body convulsing. Ayla grabbed Mara. Can we stop this? Mara slammed her hand onto the shutdown node. Only by completing the broadcast and cutting the core. Then do it. 2 minutes. Ayla returned to the uplink. The transmission was still live, still pushing truth into the stars. She spoke once more. To anyone listening, Earth was right to fight back. But we're wrong to forget what we were fighting for. I'm not a traitor. I'm not a hero. I'm a soldier who saw children trying to fix the world we broke. You can kill them. You can kill me. But you can't kill what this place stands for. Not anymore. 1 minute. Suddenly, a tone crackled in her comm. Command to Omega Lead. Transmission received. Strike aborted. Ayla's knees nearly gave out. Kai let out a broken laugh, collapsing beside Lyra. Mara knelt, gently disconnecting the final child. The reactor returned to idle. The lights softened. The silence was eerie, like a ceasefire inside a tomb. Later, standing among the ruins, Ayla watched the Xarn retreat. No more gunfire. No more screaming. Just tired survivors breathing smoke and ash. Lyra approached, voice hoarse. Earth saw. The signal got through. Yeah, Ayla whispered. Now they have to decide what kind of species we want to be. Mara stood beside her. You didn't have to do this. I did, Ayla said, her voice soft now. Because I was sent to kill monsters, and I almost became one. She turned to the children. Elia stepped forward, holding another drawing. This one showed Ayla standing between 2 worlds, unarmed. Are we safe now? Elia asked. Ayla crouched, meeting her gaze. Not yet. But we're closer. 3 weeks after the Vega IV standoff, Ayla Rourke sat in chains. The hearing room inside Terra Prime's High Tribunal was antiseptic, featureless, and steeped in judgment. A thin pane of glass separated her from the panel, 7 brass-starred generals, 1 TDC ethics officer, and a woman in civilian attire she didn't recognize. No windows. No media. Just silence. Ayla didn't speak first. She waited. General Rourke, oldest of the group, leaned forward. Captain Rourke, let the record reflect you violated Direct Order 476B, termination of classified alien targets. You disobeyed a Red Tier directive. You engaged in unsanctioned planetary broadcast of military assets. Ayla nodded once. That's accurate. You admit guilt. I admit action. Rourke's lip twitched. Your team sustained 3 fatalities. Your actions nearly collapsed diplomatic silence across 8 sectors. You cost this command global control of the Vega sector. Ayla's response came quiet but sharp. I revealed the truth. The civilian woman finally spoke. Her voice didn't carry military force, it carried weight of a different kind. Captain Rourke, I'm Dr. Selene Marin. I'm with the United Terran Civilian Council. I've reviewed the children's files. Neural scans. DNA charts. Artifacts. I've spoken with the survivors. Ayla's shoulders stiffened. Is it true, Marin continued, that the children saved your team from nuclear meltdown using neural synchronization alone? Yes. Is it true they asked for no reward, made no demands, and feared not punishment but misunderstanding? Yes. Then tell me plainly, Captain, why did you risk everything to protect them? Ayla took a breath. They weren't weapons, she said. They weren't soldiers. They were children trying to fix the world we broke. Outside the tribunal, Kai sat on a bench near the civilian wing, his side still bound in bandages. Lyra stood beside him, watching the security feed showing Ayla behind glass. You think they'll court-martial her? Kai asked. They can't, Lyra said. Not anymore. The footage is everywhere. The colonies are already holding vigils. There's even talk of humanitarian corridors. Kai chuckled bitterly. Mercy became marketable. No, Lyra said. Mercy became visible. The door opened. Ayla stepped out, unchained. No fanfare. No ceremony. Kai stood. That's it? You're free. They didn't clear me, Ayla said. But they didn't stop me. Lyra handed her a small data chip. What's this? Everything Mara gave us. The full records of the hybrid program. Their science. Their languages. Their hopes. And what do we do with it? Kai asked. We give it to everyone. Weeks passed. The footage from Vega IV spread across inner systems. The public saw hybrid children drawing stars. Saw Xarn scientists caring for wounded humans. Saw Ayla's final broadcast. Earth Command tried to control the story, then tried to bury it. Neither worked. In the outer colonies, human volunteers requested joint programs with Xarn doctors. Refugees from both species found common ground, not in policy, but in survival. A monument was raised on Vega IV. Small. Unmarked. Just a ring of stones and a plaque that read. Here, war paused. And someone listened. Mara walked beside Ayla through the underground habitat, the children's laughter echoing ahead of them. The new colony wasn't protected by weapons, it was protected by eyes. Everyone watched it now. That was its shield. They still talk about you, Mara said. The Terran who chose mercy. I didn't choose it, Ayla said. I just saw it, and didn't look away. They entered the main learning chamber. Elia ran up to Ayla and threw her arms around her legs. I wrote something, she chirped. Let me hear it, Ayla said, crouching. Elia pulled a small slate from her pouch. On it, messy handwriting read. Today we are not afraid. Today, Earth heard us. Later that night, Ayla sat alone atop a hill near the perimeter wall. The stars blinked overhead. Somewhere, Kai was teaching target discipline to Xarn cadets. Lyra had become the facility's new medical lead. Earth hadn't forgiven them, exactly, but it hadn't stopped them either. That was enough. A transmission blinked on Ayla's wrist. Unknown source. Encryption level, civilian emergency override. She opened it. Dr. Celine Marin's face appeared, this time with softer features, less scrutiny. Captain Rourke. The UTC has formally approved the Interspecies Accord Initiative. Your testimony became its keystone. The children you saved will not be hidden. They'll be heard. We've appointed a new diplomatic role, and we'd like you to accept it. Ayla stared at the message. She didn't answer right away. 3 months later, a Terran diplomatic cruiser landed at the Senate world of Havith. It was the first human vessel allowed in Xarn diplomatic airspace in 37 years. The children had grown taller. Smarter. Stronger. Ayla stepped out first. She wasn't wearing armor. No rifle. No helmet. No rank badge. Just a jacket with 2 patches, one Terran, one Xarn, stitched side by side. Reporters called her humanity's ambassador of mercy. She ignored them. She wasn't here to perform. She was here to make sure the next war never had to happen. A Xarn child beside her reached out. Ayla took her hand. No more mercy? No. Now, there would be mercy where it mattered most.